UFC Mexico, Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. This is the Funk and Flex MMA preview and prediction show of all the places you could be on the internet. I'm thankful that you're here. While you're here, I'd also appreciate if you drop a like on the thumbs up button below. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. This is my one of two weekly videos that I give out. Every Wednesday, we do the preview and prediction shows. Fridays, the betting breakdowns. We're coming off of a cold couple of weeks, 5-8 record back to back. The roughest it's been all year, but that means there's only one way to go, and that's up. And I'm recharged and focused, ready to jump in. So let's go ahead. The first fight of the night, we're going to jump into Marquel Mederos versus Austin Hubbard. This one's a 50-50 fight for me. Austin Hubbard really has not looked good in his UFC run, and Marquel Mederos has left a lot to be desired too. I'm going to go ahead and lean the favorite in Marquel Mederos as he's just shown a little bit more promise, even though he hasn't fought a lot of competition. You see with his 9-1 record. We're going Marquel Mederos to dog it out a little bit more. Austin Hubbard quits on himself, and that's something that you never like to see in a fighter. I'm very low on Austin Hubbard, and it's almost more of a fade. So the pick will be Mederos. Second fight of the night, Jamal Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. I had a hard time finding odds on this fight. So I made the pick blind off of odds, which I kind of like to do either way. It's always kind of tough to do that, honestly, as I see the odds normally right when I look at the names. However, Jamal Emmers opening at a minus 380 is a pass for me, but he will be the pick in this one, as I think that Gabriel Miranda, really a one-trick pony on the ground, and I think that Jamal Emmers is going to be able to use his athleticism to outstrike him on the feet. I'm not really confident in either one of their durabilities, but Emmers will be the pick. Moving along, we have Rafa Garcia versus Vink Pichel, and this is almost the same kind of breakdown. Not really a pick on Rafa Garcia, even though that is the pick, but it's more of a fade of Vink Pichel at 42 years old, 12-year age difference, and I just think that Garcia is gonna outdog him here, out wrestle him, be able to look a little bit better. Pichel, maybe in his prime, could get this one done, but again, at a minus 550, I think it's almost unbettable unless you're looking to play one of the props or something along those lines. Nonetheless, Rafa Garcia will be the pick in this fight. Up next, we have Lupi Godinez versus Julia Pilastri, and I'm going to go with Godinez to get it done in Mexico. I know that she's lost a couple of fights that really looked winnable for her, and you got to question her IQ a little bit because of that. But I think that she's just all around better than Julia Pilastri, who really relies on her toughness and durability. I think Pilastri is going to look to try to close the distance, but Lupi Godinez should be able to use her wrestling in this spot to get it done. And the key word is should be. This is a play that I like though at minus 240. It is bettable finally, but she is the pick. Lupi Godinez. We'll look to see maybe a decision prop, but these girls do like to scrap a little bit. Like I said, Pilastri relies on her toughness, so I wouldn't be surprised if Godinez can find a finish, but she will be the pick nonetheless. Christian Rodriguez versus Melky Costa. This one is one of the ones that I'm more excited for on this card. I like C-Rod to get it done. A lot of people on the Melky side. He is one of the more likely dogs that could win. I think this is a coin flip fight, but I like the 52-53% to Christian Rodriguez. He's fought a lot of people that like to power grapple. Even though he's not the biggest 145er, I like his chances to stuff the takedown from Costa. And if he can keep it in boxing range and avoid some of those kicks that Costa likes to throw, I think Rodriguez is going to be the better striker. And what a fight that I like to see going the distance more times than not in this matchup. I think Rodriguez is going to be able to do more over 3 rounds in terms of strikes landed and damage done. Maybe avoid a close submission attempt or two from Costa, but overall the pick is going to be Christian Rodriguez to get the win. Up next, Jose Medina versus Atiba Gautier. Medina, another guy that likes to rely on his durability here. I don't think he's really great in any area, and I think that's going to be a huge disadvantage matched up against a guy like Gautier, who's a young, hungry prospect, and he has power. The only thing that I'm worried about is if Gaudier gasses early here at elevation. It's one thing that hasn't been mentioned yet, is they're fighting 7,000 feet plus at Mexico City, the highest elevation that it reaches in the UFC. And I do worry about Gaudier gassing, even though that wasn't the case on his contender series where he dominated a decision. But I do think that he is the side here. I think he's likely to get a finish, even though Medina's chin is extremely durable. I don't know if it's bettable. Again, a lot of these fights aren't bettable, unfortunately. But if you're looking for a pick, Gaudier has got to be the side. If you're looking to play something late, a Medina sprinkle late with rounds 2 or 3 might be worth hedging on if you want to play the chalk in Gaudier. But nonetheless, you got to make Gaudier the pick here as the young, hungry prospect getting it done at elevation. Maybe Medina gasses too. You know, his cardio and durabilities look good to this point, but I don't know. I think that Atiba Gaudier's power is real, and his athleticism and speed is going to be able to set him apart in this matchup. I think that his striking is elite or elite potential, and that's something that Medina just lacks in his bag. On to the featured fight of the prelims, we have Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vergara. I like Edgar Chairez in this matchup. I think he's the more dangerous fighter, and an elevation matchup where this fight's likely going to go inside the distance. I wouldn't be surprised at a decision, but I think Chairez is the one that's more likely to get a finish here. Vergara could use his wrestling to squeak out a decision, so I don't love the minus 275 price tag, as I think Vergara is a live dog, especially at plus 225. Might be able to find some degenerate props this week on this one for Vergara, even though the pick for me has got to be Edgar Chairez if you're looking to parlay it. I think that he probably does get a finish here in this one. If not, he's got that dog mentality, and he might be able to win first round, early moments in the second round enough to capture that, and then just tough dog out the third round, win a 2-1 decision over Vergara. But nonetheless, I think that more than likely he has more paths to victory in this fight. So Chairez will be the pick. To the first fight of the main card, Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. Rodriguez, the hometown favorite here, both of Hispanic descent. Borjas is the Peruvian fighter. I think Rodriguez is going to get this one done. Rodriguez is the better, more rounded fighter, even though Borjas has looked good on the feet in moments against guys like Joshua Van. I think Rodriguez is still going to be better on the feet, and his grappling is on another level. I think if Kevin Borjas gets to the ground later on, Rodriguez is going to show that dog that he has in him. He's definitely going to be a fan favorite as he was a crowd favorite at UFC Noche in September after the comeback to Ode Osborne. And I think that if Borjas hurts him early, he's not going to be able to finish Rodriguez, who will be able to survive and either get a late finish or a decision win. So that will be the pick, is Ronaldo Rodriguez. Up next is David Martinez, the young prospect, taking on Simon Oliveira. And I like Martinez's chances in this one. We're going to have to see if the hype is legit, but Simon Oliveira, not really a tough competitor. One thing I will note is the 6 inches in reach. And if Martinez gasses, maybe Simon Oliveira finds a way to work a jab and keep the distance and win points. But I like Martinez's chances to get the finish here. It looks like he has good, crisp boxing, kind of reminiscent of what we saw from Kevin Vallejos, which was the minus 140 KO lock of the year looking back on it. I think this might be a similar case here for David Martinez. They're feeding him a good, easy, winnable opponent here. No disrespect to Simon Oliveira, but I like the matchup for Martinez to look good and shine on the feet here in this spot. So he'll be the pick in this matchup. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales, and the pick has got to be El Nino Problema, Raul Rosas. I don't think that Vince Morales is going to have the success that he has in this matchup. He got the choke out in his last fight against an unexperienced grappler, and that is not Raul Rosas. I think that Raul Rosas may be the better grappler in this. He's definitely the better wrestler, as Vince Morales normally relies on his striking and knockdowns or other people's takedowns to shine on the feet or shine on the ground. Good BJJ for Vince Morales, but great BJJ for Raul Rosas. I think their grappling, if anything, cancels each other out. and then the wrestling from Raul Rosas just makes him better in the ground department overall. As his ground game is more on the reminiscent side of a Khamzat Shamaev, a pressure wrestler that's strong and pushes the takedowns. Um, I think that he's going to look good in this matchup here against Morales. And I think that his striking is going to shine here too. So I wouldn't be surprised if Rosas gets a KO in the home crowd. Mexico is going to be going crazy for him as he is a Mexican pride through and through. And he has been since his day one of his MMA career. So I'd love to see Rosas get a dub here. Not great odds, but parlayable, as I think that there's a great chance that he wins and he will be a confident pick this week. To the featured fight of the main card, Kevin Gastelum takes on Joe Pyfer. And I think this is a horrible matchup for Kelvin Gastelum. Pyfer training with Sean Brady. His grappling is already good, getting better as it goes. The young age of 28, he's already been handed his veteran loss from Jack Hermanson. And I love Joe Pyfer coming here surging. The one fear that I have is Kevin Gastelum is extremely hard to put away. His durability is top notch. And if Joe Pyfer gasses here, it is only a 3-round fight. But if he gasses here in the third, Kelvin Gastelum's live to get his wrestling going. But that being said, I like Pyfer's BJJ. I think that he's able to get out of any submission threats that are thrown his way, and he'll do enough early on in the fight to get this one done if it does go to a decision. But we might be seeing Kelvin Gastelum get put away in this spot. Joe Pyfer is the pick. To the co-main event, Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. Torres coming off of that devastating KO from what was his name? Ignacio Bahamondes. With an impressive performance, obviously has aged well as he's finished Jalen Turner in the first round too, Bahamondes. But he's getting a tough matchup in Drew Dober, who does train at high elevation in Colorado, about 2,000 feet less than what it is in Mexico City. But Manuel Torres does not train at elevation. So I think that if you're playing Torres, you better be looking to play Torres early, because if not, Drew Dober is likely to dog out and eat some of the early shots and even look good, as Drew Dober's got good boxing and good takedown defense, knows what to do on the ground, a veteran fighter. And I think that Drew Dober's live to get a finish in the second or third round, or even do more damage in those rounds to win a decision. I think he could look good in the first even too. So I'm going to lean towards Drew Dober and trust his chin, as he took nasty damage to John Silva, and he's an older fighter getting up there at 36 years old. But he survived the damage from John Silva and didn't even get put away from that, even though it went on his record as a KO. It was a technical KO from doctor stoppage, as the cut on his forehead was just nasty, and John Silva beat half of his face away. So the chin's definitely a worry early on for Drew Dober, but I think if he can survive the first round of this fight, he's going to really shine in the later parts, and he will be the pick here, given Manuel Torres another veteran check. Main event time, Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. I gotta go Assassin Baby here. Brandon Moreno, another home crowd favorite, as the Mexican fighters didn't really come to fruition at Noche and the Sphere. They actually lost at an alarming rate. I think that Moreno is going to turn that around, as a lot of these other Mexican fighters are going to be motivated to turn that around. I think the UFC is even maybe giving him some favorable matchups. And unfortunately, this is for Steve Erceg. This is a favorable matchup for Brandon Moreno, as Steve Erceg getting knocked out by Kai Kara France in the first round, and then they turn around and give him someone that's beaten Kai Kara France twice. And not to do MMA math, but Brandon Moreno is the elite of the 125-pound division, and I think this is where he reminds people. He had an outstanding performance against Amir Albazi. A lot of people think that it's been his best performance to date, although I don't forget the wars he had against Figueiredo, finishing Figueiredo twice, doctor stoppage and submission. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go Brandon Moreno as the pick. I like Erceg's boxing, but I think Brandon Moreno can hang with his boxing. I think Moreno has better kicks and the better ground skill set as well. Even though Erceg's got to get some flowers there, he's got a decent ground game. And it's just a tough turnaround for Urseg, as a lot of people think he arguably won that title shot against Pantoja, then to get sparked in the first round by Kai Kara France and fight at elevation against a dog like Brandon Moreno. It's not a good thing for him. So unfortunately, I think that he's on the bad end of some unlucky matchmaking, but hopefully he'll get a good spot to turn it around next time. Nonetheless, we're going to wrap up the preview and prediction show on that note. Make sure you drop a like if you haven't already on your way out. Subscribe to make sure you catch all of the content that I got posted weekly. We're going to have the betting breakdown on Friday where we'll recap last week's card a little bit more in depth and then go into the full betting card and picks that I have for UFC Mexico this upcoming weekend. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as well. Make sure you show some love on the Instagram at FunkinFlexMMA. I post all my official picks there every week, so if you don't have time to watch the videos, you can always get a little snapshot of what the content's looking like for the week. So, nonetheless, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you on Friday's show.